And just officially, hi everyone. Welcome to the New York City Divi Meetup, and thanks for attending. I am Mickey Diener. I'm one of the co-organizers of the Divi Meetup NYC, and this is our meetup for a show and tell. If anybody wants to show and tell, and just a general Divi chat. And we have some Divi type things we like to talk about. We can also talk about anything WordPress related, what people are doing, such as Joan's discussion previously. Just in general, getting together to talk about Divi. So what I would also like to introduce my co-organizers. Seema Talwar is here and Patty Rose is here. You probably know them from many months and many times being on various meetups. So what I wanted to do, I know that we don't have a lot of people, but I think it would be a good idea to just go around and do a little intro for those who don't know who we are or what we're doing, what our business is, what all that is. So I thought that would be a good idea. Take some time to do that. So Seema, you're first on my screen, so you could go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Seema, and I've been part of Divi NYC group for 2 years, and I just came on as a co-organizer, thanks to Patty and Mickey. And I've been using Divi for maybe 3-4 years, and I mainly do for websites for small businesses, photographers, artists, and I'm always learning and always think like I'm behind. I haven't caught up with the videos or the updates, and it's a nice place to go for these meetups and learn, and it's a great community. Thank you.
Okay, and next I see Patty.
Hey guys, I'm Patty. It's so great to have you part of the team, Seema. I've been a co-organizer for Divi NYC for a few years, and it is definitely a great community. I started with Divi when it first came out. I don't remember when that was. I'm doing math in years post-COVID. Just doesn't happen in my mind anymore. It's a long time ago. And I was doing website design. It got to a point where I was spending days doing like shopping for themes. And then Divi came around and I decided this will be my specialty. I'm only using this one. So I did that for a while. I recently transitioned my business and I do journals, card decks, courses for empowerment for creative entrepreneurs. So I'm still on my website, but I'm doing less of it as work. I'm glad to be here. It's so nice to meet you guys.
And I'd want to mention that Patty started Divi NYC. Forgot to add that in. And how long ago was it? Like 5-6 years ago now?
Almost 6. I think this year makes 6.
Wow, well,
Yeah.
long time. Yeah, thanks for getting it going.
Well, once you guys came on board, we got things started to move. Janine was a co-organizer for a good lot of those years too. So.
Right, yeah. And that was back when we always met in person, right?
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
And when Divi and Meetup, Divi and Elegant Themes, I guess it was. No, it was Meetup and WeWork were working together, and I was able to have great space in Manhattan to hold the events. It was beautiful. It was a dream.
Not anymore, right?
Oh, we got
okay.
Zoom.
So next, Mark, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm in Kansas City, and I was kind of flicking back through my email to see when I had something with Divi. So it looks like at least 2017 I started using it. Wow. So I do web hosting, development, don't do design personally. So come at it more from the technical viewpoint. Had my own company for 25 plus years, so doing web stuff. So
So you must have been through a lot of different web tools then, I assume.
Yeah, no web tools, back in the 90s. And then, yeah.
Right.
So I try to use, I'd say well over 95% of the stuff I do now is probably at least based in WordPress instead of doing from scratch or custom. So, and then as a developer, I like Divi just because, you can do everything there. Same reason everybody, well, I don't know why everybody likes it. I like it because now you can do the builder for the headers and footers and they just keep improving it and making it faster and having more features and stuff like that. So, and their support's good. It's cheap. I mean, if you get a lifetime license, it's like nothing. So I'd say the last 100+ sites I've worked on are probably on WordPress have been Divi, probably, with a few that I inherited that are like Elementor or something that I really don't like at all. But
Wow, that's awesome. 100+ sites in Divi. Wow.
yeah.
Very good. Okay, Joan, please introduce yourself.
Well, hi there. I'm Joan, and I'm I have the privilege actually of being the organizer for the Divi Chicago meetup group. And I started using Divi when it first came out. I was looking I'm the kind of person who likes to press the button and change things. I just love that idea. And Elegant Themes had this theme that you could do. It's called a chameleon theme. You could just press buttons and change the background. I thought that was great. But when the Divi theme came out, I was just mesmerized. I said, that's it. And the whole concept behind Divi was just incredible. So I decided, and I texted the guys at the tech support and said, are you guys okay with a beginner person using Divi? Will you help me through this? And of course, I must have cracked up laughing. That's their job, right? Anyway, they did. They really were very helpful because I was pretty much not that savvy. But the more I learned, the more I used Divi, the more I learned. And the more I just loved doing it. And the more I grew to love it, it's like, I thought, well, I made one website, then I made another website. Then a friend of mine said to me, make my website. Another one said, make mine. And I thought, and another friend of mine said to me, Joan, you're stupid. Why don't you charge people for doing this? Why are you doing this for free? So I thought that was a terrible idea because, what would I charge? But anyway, I finally did ask my first fee, and the person at the website for was so happy. And so that was the beginning of that, and it's mushroomed. And what I've noticed about Divi is it just keeps on improving and it keeps on getting better. And to me, it's amazing how people technology can improve and improve and improve and improve. You think you know something. Now they're going to change the interface of Divi. It's going to be different again. It's like,
A little bit, yeah.
Wow. Anyway, that's why I love getting together with people who use Divi because I always learn so much from other people because they always have something to share. You always pick up something you didn't know that you could do with Divi. So. And you guys are at the right time for a change. This is a good time for me. So that's why I can come to your meeting. That's great.
You're an hour earlier, right?
No, hour behind you.
Hour behind us. Right, exactly.
So yeah.
Great. Well, glad you could make it today.
Sure.
And Eric, tell us about yourself, if you would.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm in Mountain View, California. And been using Divi for like 5 years or so. I do web design, digital marketing. It's my current focus. And Divi websites, and I also use the other just regular WordPress websites as well.
Mm-hmm. You mean websites using the block, Gutenberg and the standard WordPress?
There's one called Cadence, which is like Divi 1.0. in some ways, it's a lot simpler, so it's easier in that aspect. But then it doesn't have any of the capabilities and the strength. So easier to get started, harder to move in the middle. Once you really
Mhm.
get going, and it's like, okay, this would be so easy in Divi. They have just all the modules and everything. But you know, if you're doing a much smaller site, then it works okay.
Mhm.
But
Right.
Divi's a great like middle provider there, where it has all the features that the vast majority of people will need to and it does it really easily. So that's why I like Divi, and it's easy for a customer to or a client who wants to update some of their pages, not design stuff, but say, okay, I want to update and put in new information here and there. I get people on Divi, they are able to go in and change things, but like giving them the block editor cadence, that's not as successful as I find. I think Divi's got all of the educational videos and everything, and
Right.
it's fairly and it's so consistent. Everything has the same, the design uh, adjustments for everything is there. It's not like the block editor where there's 10 different ways to do an image, and each one has a different set. Sometimes they have padding, sometimes they don't have padding, and depending on which one you have, and it's like, oh my God, which is crazy. Image, advanced image, and all of those other crazy nonsense. Oh,
Right. Well, block-based has come a long way, but it
yeah.
still has a ways to go, as
Yeah.
I think we know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the PC where you've got a bunch of different manufacturers putting all sorts of things in it, and it doesn't quite fit together. And Divi's kind of like the Mac, right? Everything is you're getting your environment, and everything is there. Everything is simple, and everything's consistent. So
Yeah,
here,
that's a great analogy,
Yeah, I was
Eric. I
gonna say,
like
I
that.
like that analogy. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. That's a great
yeah,
analogy. I like that.
yeah.
Mm.
So I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. I am officially, quote unquote, retired, but as a side gig after I retired. After I retired, I picked up web development just to keep my tech skills going. And at first, I actually volunteered for an organization that was using Drupal, I think all of you are probably somewhat familiar with.
Mm.
I can't say it's similar to WordPress, but it's supposed to be a CMS platform as well. And I was like tearing my hair out trying to
Yeah.
do things in Drupal. They were using something called Civi CRM, which is a nonprofit membership package, and it was just very difficult. But then I found WordPress, and I was like, oh wait, what is this? And then I was looking around, that like Patty, at themes and things like that. And then I found Divi, and the rest is history. And I'm going to say that was probably, maybe 5 years ago, 4.5 to 5 years ago. And I think pretty shortly after I started using Divi, I joined the NYC Meetup, and that's where I met Patty and Janine and Seema and other folks. So I've basically concentrated in websites for uh, pro bono websites for myself or friends or organizations I belong to, but I've also done some websites for NGOs. I happen I happen to be a webmaster for a foundation that has to deal with voting rights, but they're on Squarespace, so that's a whole another story. And so I just do various things in Divi and other places where people need me, or someone wants to call me up and say, what's wrong with my website? And I try to take a look at it and fix it, especially if it's in WordPress. Yeah, so again, this is great hearing from everyone, seeing everyone again. And I think we might be able to do a little bit of show and tell. Um, Mark's last name. Help me out, Patty or Seema. Our new maybe co-organizer.
What's his last
Oh,
name?
Silverman.
Silverman.
I
Silverman.
thought
Oh, right. Okay.
I thought
Sorry.
you meant the Mark who's here today.
No. That I know.
Whatever. Sorry, Mark.
Mark Silverman, who's also a pretty long time member, was going to be with us today. He was going to do a show and tell with some membership sites, but he got pulled away. So I don't know if any of the few of us want to volunteer, but I was thinking I'm going to show you something I did very, it's a very simple thing. It's not anything special in Divi, but it's to show a method of how I used another, pulling in data from another app into a Divi site just to fulfill a function. So what I'm going to share, and hopefully it will be a little bit interesting, is a website I did for a choir that I belong to. And let me actually pull that up. I'm going to share my screen, and I have to figure out how to do this here. It's not that one. It's not this one. Okay, where is it? Sorry, guys. I apparently have a lot of things open here. I can't find it. It's not here. Uh-oh. I may not be able to do.
Oh, go to present now.
Yeah,
arrow.
I am. I just can't find the right right tab to do this in. I'm looking for the particular window. It's not coming up in the in the thumbnails for some reason. Google Meet sort of new for us here. We didn't spring for Zoom, so I'm just trying to find that. Bear with me 1 second, please. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Google Meet is a bit more complex than Zoom.
It's a little bit complex.
You're not familiar with it yet.
Oh, here we go. I found it. Oops.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, now I'm going to share. So what you should be seeing is just the home page to this. This is the name of the chorus is Cantabile. Can everybody see this, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the name of the chorus is Cantabile, and they used to maintain a spreadsheet of pieces, choral pieces that they perform. They've been around, I think, since the 80s, perhaps like the late 80s. So they've been singing together for a long time. Here's me. I don't know if you could really see me, but this is some years ago. My hair wasn't. My hair was a little darker than it is now. But it's a small chorus, not professional, but a lot of the singers are actually quite good. But anyway, they maintained a spreadsheet of all their performances, and when they wanted to search it, they had to scroll through the spreadsheet. A lot of the members who wanted to look aren't very technical, so they didn't know how to do a find, and so they said, well, can you do a database for us? So I did do a database, and what I did was I actually, to start, since they had a number of years of data, I uploaded the data into a web app, a web database called Caspio, which I'm logged into here. It's caspio.com, and they have a free account, which I don't recall anymore. This has been around for a while. What the difference between free and paid was, it might be the number of applications you can have. But I'll quickly show you what Caspio looks like, and I'll show you real quickly how I got this all into the data into the Divi website. So let's see. Let me open this database. And I have to get to the right table. So there are two tables in this, and they look like spreadsheets. One is the data, and one is a user table for people who could log in and actually, not through Caspio, but through the WordPress front end, actually enter data. So if I open this just to show you real quickly, it looks like a spreadsheet. It's got columns and rows, and we have the order of the piece in the program, a title, who the composer or arranger was, when was it performed, what was the name of the concert, because they do 2 concerts a year and they give the performance a name, where it was located, and any notes here. Now it is possible. Let me see if I can scroll to the end. There's quite a few records. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Okay. It is possible, as you could see here on the bottom, if it's showing, it is possible to manually enter data in here. But I thought that, I don't want, if other people are going to maintain this, I don't want them in the back end. I want them in the front end. And the number of records is, there's 1,234 records. So they've performed 1,234 pieces up through 2022. I gave up the maintenance of this database in 2023, and the person I gave it to apparently hasn't updated it for last year yet. So I have to check with her to see why that is. But anyway, back to the Divi database. So it has fairly limited functionality. Anyone who gets to it can search and view performances, but in order to add up or update a record, for instance, if I choose this here, one has to log in from here, and this is actually logging into Caspio. In that it's from that users table that I showed, rather than logging into WordPress itself. You don't have to be logged into WordPress if you have a login to Caspio. But what I wanted to show is for search and view performances, which is anyone could use. It's a little hard to see maybe, but the fields are down here on the right, and the database can be searched on any of these things in combination or singly. You can put in the year, you can put in the program order. I'm not sure why that's important, but since it was in the database, I put it there. The title of the piece, who the composer was, what the name of the performance was, as I showed you, where it was, and you could even search any notes. And they are full text searches. So if a note said, for instance, solo by Mickey Diener, you could just look up solo and it would come up with any piece where the note says solo. But to give you a real quick example, one of the composers that choruses like to do if they do 20th century music is Leonard Bernstein. So if I search for Bernstein here, it's not the fastest in the world, but it's not too bad. You could see here that you can change the sort order since we did date by oldest. And it, again, very simply, nothing fancy. It comes up with all of the pieces that were done by Bernstein, starting in 1991, and it goes in date order. And if anybody wants to actually look at the record itself, you can hover here where it says details, pull it up, and it gives you the details in this format instead. And you could scroll through the records. As you could see, there are 32 instances of them singing something by Leonard Bernstein. So that's how that works. What I actually really wanted to show you is how this was done in Divi, or even done in WordPress. It could be done anywhere. So let me pull up the Visual Builder. And if I go to this field here, very simply, where is that? Did I pull up the right field? Yeah, here we go. You could see it's running a little slow, I think, because it's I'm doing Meet at the same time. But it's basically an embed here that Caspio supplied on their website saying if you want to query this database, use this embed. So the format here that you see actually is all Caspio. It's pretty simple. I could probably make it prettier, with some CSS here and there. But this was just so easy. So it's basically the Caspio method is part of their API. It's an embed. There's a URL. This is my Caspio ID, the COD, whatever that is. Here's the app key and async true. I don't recall what that means. As I said, I did this a while ago. But very simply, I just had to put up something that was in particular format, decide how I wanted to do the text field, what kind of padding did I want, and margins and so on. And just as a text field, just embed the text here. And you could see if I just go to the text portion, it really just is it is an API call within brackets in here. And that was it. It was fairly easy to do. The other ones with adding records and updating records, it's sort of the same. There is a Caspio embed for that as well to do an add record or a modify existing record. And the only other things I did was a login, which was required anyway if you're not logged in, and a log out if you were logged in. And sorry, things are popping up here. I want to get rid of that. So that's it. That's what I wanted to show. Again, just a little bit of an example of using backend data, within Divi. You could do it for you, Eric. You could do it within a block, I'm sure, in various ways. You could do it in any other builder, but since I used Divi, it was just something sort of easy to get done quickly. And the users, and there are maybe 30 people in the choir, and maybe 3 of them use it, if they still do. But again, it was it was just a fun thing to do for them. And those who do use it, I left the choir during COVID, and I told the officers that I didn't want to maintain this anymore, just because I didn't want to. And they said, "Oh, please keep it going, please keep it going." And I told them that if they found someone else to do the data, I would, keep it going. And you could probably see up here that I'm also hosting it in a subdomain on a domain that I own, which is not a big deal. I mean, there's no extra cost for that. So it's just sort of a fun thing that I like to do. So
Mickey, I have a question.
Sure.
So the Divi builder that you're using, you can style it. You can style the outside of it, like you can change the background there, the section.
Yes, you could style this whole section. You could style the row, but this all inside the border here. And I put the border up on purpose, right? Inside the border, and this is just one row, obviously. Inside the border, you don't really have control over how all this looks in here. Now, Caspio might have changed it where you can add something to the API call there, but again, I sort of did it. I left well enough alone. People found it useful, so I didn't look into it any further.
It's quite interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a fun thing, and it's amazing they did over the years have done 1,400 different. Well, I can't say different pieces because they've repeated them a lot.
Now,
Some of them a lot, but it's still a lot.
Would you also put this into a code module?
I guess I could. Yeah, I think you'd have to take. Let me go back into that API call, because there are different ways for doing the shortcut. Yeah, exactly.
Because all they give you is the embed code.
Right. Well, they give you. Let me go back. pull this up.
Because you don't really have to enter information through the Divi builder. So
You don't have to, no. They give you this API call, which includes it says to embed it, right? But I think if you did it in a code module, you'd have to do something else with the code where you would
Yep.
call the HTTPS and indicate the API key. It probably would just be it depends if you did it in you know, what you did it in, you know, whether HTML or whatever in the code module. So
right, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. Mm.
Yeah, it would just depend, but this seemed easier. They said, you know, just stick this in a field and it'll come up.
So
And it did.
So they supply you a plugin, and then they just give you a short code that embeds it. But the nice thing is it's not an iframe. So
Right. The nice thing
Right.
is
It's not an
exactly,
iframe.
you know,
Yeah.
iframes are a big pain, especially in Divi.
Mhm.
But you know, you may be right. I may have, like I said, I did this a number of years ago. I may have forgotten that there's a probably that there's a plugin here.
there has to be. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
there has
short
to be
code.
to read this. Yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, let me go out of here. I just want to confirm, and I have a feeling. I mean, I do keep this updated. This is on, you know, the latest WordPress, the latest Divi. I have a feeling that maybe they haven't updated their plugin in a long time, because I don't remember the plugin getting updated. Let me just take a quick look. Here, custom database applications by Caspio. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, they would have a plugin.
Yeah. So a 2.1 version, I don't know when. Oh, here we go. This plugin has not been tested with your current version of WordPress.
Yeah.
Let's see how long. Oh, it was last updated 2 years ago. So I have a feeling they probably have better ways to do this now. But again, not that important to me right now to update this. Yeah. So what else did I have? I have some other things that I generally use. My backup plugins, Lightspeed Cache, because my host uses Lightspeed. Duplicate page. Here's Caspio, a Kismet I've never had to use. And this is an interesting little plugin that a guy who used to attend our meetups, Randy Abedin, put together, which it sort of gives you. I'm trying to remember the other website that lets you see what has to be upgraded, you know, on all your sites. You know, it's sort of a conglomerator of your websites, but this is a very low impact, and it doesn't do the updates for you, but it tells you what has to be updated. And quite frankly, I don't know if Randy is even maintaining this anymore, but it's something that I sometimes use to monitor my sites. But anyway, I digress.
What is
So,
WP Vivid plugin? Sorry to interrupt. I'm just checking.
that's fine. WP Vivid is the backup, my backup plugin that I use on all my sites.
Okay.
It has a lot of features, and when they first came out with WP Vivid, I tested it out, and they had like a founder's deal where I have a lifetime license for, like, I'm trying to remember, 99 installs or some large amount that I'll never use. So I use this on all of my sites. It's a very good plugin. It's like any of the other standard, standard plugins that people use, like Duplicator Pro or, other ones like that. It allows you to do migration. It has an image optimization piece. It has a lot of features. It's a good backup plugin.
Mm-hmm.
The one I would compare it most to is like Updraft Plus, if anybody uses that.
I use Updraft Plus.
Yeah, it has pretty much the same features. I think it's a little cheaper. And again,
I use
like
a free
I said,
account, so I don't.
oh, okay. Okay.
It's working for me.
Yeah. But I put this on all the sites that I do. Yeah.
But you have to provide your own storage, correct?
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
I've started I've started using Blog Vault for all mine.
Blog
Which
Vault.
They
Mhm.
provide Malcare, so they provide the storage, and it's pretty cheap. I mean, the more you have, the cheaper it is. But
Oh, no kidding. Huh.
it's very
So they have the backup plugin and the storage then.
right. It's their storage, and you can do a staging site, and you can manage all of them from a dashboard there. And
Mhm.
it's been a kind of a lifesaver because it's just like I said, it's very cheap per site, and you don't have to worry about storage, and it keeps 90 days.
Oh, wow.
The cheapest
Nice.
version. They have one that'll do 4 a day, but that I'm using on one site. But
Right.
yeah, it's been awesome. So if you host a lot of sites, it's makes your life much better.
Is that a host company?
It's just called Blog Vault.
Could you give the address in the chat, please? It'll be great.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great to see you. Thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, I use my personal OneDrive account for storage because I have Microsoft 365. So I have a terabyte of storage, and that's a heck of a lot for me to
Yeah, I
use.
have
So
OneDrive too.
yeah, when I have clients, of course, they have to use their own storage. But thanks, Mark. It
Thanks, Mark.
uses a lot of you can use it. It has built-in, let's call it drivers for OneDrive, Google Drive. I'm trying to think, Dropbox, some of the standard ones. And I'm not sure, but you even may be able to just configure something like Blog Vault by providing some kind of connectivity. But anyway, yeah, WP Vivid is pretty good. So that's my share. Nothing, revolutionary or really using a lot of Divi functionality, but I thought it would be fun to just, show something I've been doing.
It's very different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know
exactly.
you could do that.
Yeah, it's like what do you call it when you do a project for yourself? A vanity project. It's sort of a vanity project with my 3 users out there, or maybe 4 by now. Who knows?
So the
Anyone
login
else?
thing, sorry, the login
Yeah.
is a membership account. Like I saw the login there on the website. So
Yeah, so the login is to enable someone to add a record or update existing records. So the login is actually a login to the functionality in Caspio.
Okay.
If you remember when I showed Caspio, there were 2 tables. One was a user table, and the other was the data that I used. So it's the user table that login goes against. So someone who wants to use the website to add records has to have a record in the user table in order to log in. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to show and tell? No takers.
I can share this one extension that I recently bought, Hoverify. I don't know if somebody's recently. I can show it.
Sure.
I haven't played with it much, but I like what should I do? Should I share?
Share your
yeah.
not your entire screen, but
I
share
know.
the window. else we'll end up in infinity like usual.
Windows.
This
Yeah,
is the
right.
one. Hoverify. So it's like Hoverify here. Hoverify. Yeah, I don't know.
Hoverify.
Hoverify. Yes.
We're hoverifying. Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it do?
See, it's just one extension, and the price is like $30 annual, and you have the inspect tool. Let me just take it. Let me not play that.
Hey everybody, welcome back to.
Sorry. I'll just take it on a side. Let me take her to. This is the Westchester website, which I was talking to you about.
Okay.
Can you see it?
No, it hasn't come up. You might have to switch tabs.
Oh, I might have to switch the sharing to the entire tab. I'm sorry about that. I'm just.
When you pull up sharing, it also says it has a tabs and then it has a windows. So you might be able to just switch to the other tab.
Okay. Can you see it now? I'm sorry.
It's just coming up. Yep, there it
There it
is.
Yes.
So this is the
Yes.
Westchester website. So if I go to my hover extension
Mm-hmm.
and I do built with, that gives me the entire information of, it's a little slow, the hosting.
Yeah, we can't see that part.
Oh, you can't?
But you
No, the
can something?
pop-up doesn't seem
Yeah,
to
the
work.
pop-up doesn't show. I like the
Oh.
typewriter though.
You like the typewriter? Yeah,
I like that effect. Yeah.
that's probably someone's Divi module with a typewriter feature. Oh, there, it just popped up.
There
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
So you can see that. So here I can, like, instead of doing inspect tool every time,
Mm-hmm.
I can check, okay, that's an H2. So it's like one extension that gives me different options.
Wow.
So if I want to see my color eyedropper, earlier normally I have on my extension a color dropper.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a color. Yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
playing with it, but there's a lot of, and I can do screenshot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't see all the things popping
Oh, you
up
can't
as
see?
We
no,
saw
it's probably
before.
just a sharing. I don't know why that is.
Oh, wow.
Good old.
Then I'll stop
We
sharing.
did see them for a minute and then they went away. When
Yeah,
you were
we saw the hovering over, the showing you the developer tools.
Can you see this or no?
Yes,
Mhm.
where it's showing different
Yeah.
formats here.
Yes, responsive.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Oh, now that's part of Hoverify also?
that's part of Hoverify. So you can see different and you can decide which screens
it-
you want to see. It's really slow.
Hmm.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's sort of taking the Google functionality and developer tools where they have various screens, where it switches to various screen sizes and giving you sort of an overlay for that. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it,
gonna stop sharing.
so
Yeah,
you
because
said it's a subscription. It's $30
It's like
a
an
year.
annual plan
Mhm.
of $30. And Mark said something.
Yeah. Oh, Mark, you're talking about WP Remote, right?
It's the same company. I just did realize that that's right. BlogVault's where I went first, and that's what they call the product. But once you get to a certain level of number of licenses or sites, then they just kind of migrate you to this. It's more cost effective for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool.
Anyway,
But the WP Remote also includes a backup plugin or a backup
that's what. Yeah,
functionality.
yeah.
Mhm. Oh, very nice. Have to
So
check
you have
that
a
out.
dashboard, and it tells you what plugins need updates and backups, and you can click something and stage it. And you can. The nice thing is you can stage it with whatever version of PHP. Because a lot of times while you're staging is to make sure that your site's going to work if you upgrade PHP on your server.
Right,
So
right.
um,
Oh, very
just
nice.
makes it very easy.
Mhm.
Their support's good too. Like they get back to me usually within a few hours.
Wow,
So
very good. Thanks for sharing that. And thanks,
Sure.
Seema, for sharing your tool there. That's very cool. Hoverify.
Hoverify.
Yeah. It's good for writing CSS, right? You know what to target.
Yes, it is. It's convenient that way instead of inspecting tool every time. So you can just
Yeah.
target it and
Hmm. Okay. Any what else? There's like four of us left to have it. Okay. You know what? In terms of the chat portion, I did have a few things that I thought might be fun to talk about, and just share opinions and stuff. One is about, of course, the bated breath everybody's waiting for is Divi 5, and I'd have to say, I mean, I do every time, Nick Roach puts up a blog post and a video, I do look at it and I go, wow, this looks good. We don't really know. What's fun is reading the comments that people put on the YouTube page, because people will either say, oh, that's great, thanks, Divi team, or every once in a while, not every once in a while, as you scroll down, you get, well, when's it coming? By 2028 or so on. People are a little sarcastic about it as well. But regarding Divi 5, there was a new update that came out today, and I did a little summary of it just to tell you guys. Some of the minor stuff he talked about was that they squashed 80 bugs in the last month. That's one thing he reported. And they updated Divi to a new version of React, which is supposed to help improve the performance of the visual builder. They've been working on front-end performance tuning, and they're trying to add as many features as they can before they go into the public alpha. And speaking of the public alpha, they were supposed to release it by the end of this quarter, which clearly they haven't because it's the 31st on Sunday. But so they're not committing to a date, but he did say that sometime next month they're going to put up a demo site that people can use in order to see what Divi 5 is going to be like. And it will have, whatever he said, they will keep it up with whatever version of Divi 5, as they come out with new releases. I think they put out a new release probably every week. Yeah, that's what he reported. So they're making progress. In talking about the public alpha, they've basically been saying, please use it, knowing what's not going to work, but don't migrate any of your production sites over to it yet. But you can try building new sites with it, with what's there. Move them into production if you want, and see what the difference is, which is an interesting way to talk about an alpha release, a public alpha release. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even do that with a public beta, but they're saying it should have most of the functionality you might want. So, but what I've seen in other videos that he's shown, and he did a little bit today in the video, and you can go to the Elegant Themes channel on YouTube and find it, or if you're on the mailing list, something went out today. As Joan said, it's changing the way it looks a little bit, where things are located, and the pop-ups it's changing the way the pop-ups come up. But quite frankly, what's been demoed looks really fast. I mean, you hover over a module, when you have the builder enabled, and it immediately pops up. It's not like or the choices pop up right away, or when you open the module it pops up really quickly. When you change things, they change immediately on the screen. It's very seems very fast in terms of the visual builder. And one thing he talked about today was that they ran some comparisons to front ends, in other words, outside the actual site, and found that certain functions are twice as fast, certain are somewhat faster, but not blazing. And he did point out the importance of hosting and caching in terms of getting really good performance out of your front end. So that's it's exciting. I once the public alpha comes out, I know I'll be taking some of my sites and creating staging or test environments just to test them out, just to see how it looks. But I think they're hoping it's going to be a game changer for them, because I think the sales of Divi have sort of slumped because everybody's waiting for Divi 5. So I hope it is. I hope it really continues the usefulness of Divi and gets them back to where they were a few years ago in terms of market share. So anyone else been tracking this? Nope. Okay.
Just watching the updates on YouTube. but I
Yeah.
haven't played with it, and it looks really nice. Really, the visual builder looks really fast, and
Mhm.
everything is like clubbed together, so you don't wasting time in clicking buttons and going to different areas. So that looks as it'll be faster.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. It'll probably take a little bit of, of relearning how to use some of the tools, but it doesn't seem that different from what I've seen.
What
Yeah.
I've heard is you have to migrate everything. I mean, basically, there's a migration because it's not storing stuff in shortcodes anymore.
Right. Hurrah. Hurrah to that, right?
So
That's always been the thing about Divi, short codes. If you want to use something else, you're going to end up with short codes. But
and
yeah,
they did say the modules that you're not using, they'll be switched off, so it makes it faster, the visual builder. So
yeah, it won't load all the code. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, that's just pretty awesome.
Mm.
Yeah. The other thing,
Are you
I'm
saying,
sorry.
Mickey, are you saying, or does anyone know that when you do that migration process, that the code will be converted?
Hmm.
The short code will just be converted into
Whatever.
like HTML or whatever?
Yeah,
no,
whatever.
I think it
Go ahead.
stores it externally. So instead of being stored as part of the post,
Oh,
that's why it's short codes. So you have revisions, which that's kind of, I don't know what they're going to do about that. That could be interesting because,
Mhm.
I mean, one nice thing, the awful thing is it's got all these short codes if you ever look at it any other way, but everything's there. You can do revisions, you can revert. So if they're not storing it within a post, I don't know how they're doing it and if you'd be able to have revisions. I haven't even looked.
They're going to have to, I think. Maybe they'll use some kind of pointer system. Who knows?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But I
Yeah.
haven't. I'd like
So
to
would
try
you wait? Would you wait to upgrade to once it comes, like for all sides?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even when they have production 1 or 5.0,
Yeah.
maybe in the database I just showed you because it doesn't matter, but nothing that's important.
Well, it's supposed to be backwards compatible, so you have to decide. I think maybe on a page basis when you move something to the new one.
Oh,
So,
on a page basis, Mark. Oh, wow.
or at least, I mean, I'm not sure if it's page or site. I think it
Yeah.
might be
Yeah.
page basis. So there's a performance hit to be in the old version once they release the new one, though. So,
Right. Yeah.
which is concerning now that I think about it, because all my sites I have themes on auto update pretty much. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
which I kind of like, but
Yeah.
in general. But I don't know if I want everything going to Divi 5 once it becomes available.
Correct. Yeah.
You might
Yeah,
get
Patty, they said I mean, part of the update process will be a migration if you choose it. But as Mark said, it'll still be backward compatible. It can read the short codes, but like Mark just said, it'll probably take a hit because it has extra work to do to read it.
yeah.
And we'll see.
We
Hopefully, maybe by the middle of the year, they'll have something out that people can play with. And maybe by the end of the year, they'll be out with Divi 5. Who knows?
Aren't they going to release a beta for like people like us to use it? So we'll get to know.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, they're calling the first release public alpha because they want lots of people to play with it, not just a set of, developers or super users. And I assume we'll have to go to a public beta after the alpha, process is done. I don't know how long they're planning for all of this. They haven't really said.
Because I don't want to waste that time doing page things and putting this over and that over. I just want Divi 5.0 to load, and then I just start working at it. That's it. I haven't got time.
You don't want to help them debug it, huh?
No. Well, no, I'll be glad to do that. But like on, I have a staging site, my own staging site. So once Divi 5.0 is available to me, I'll just go load Divi 5.0 and see what it does.
Sure.
You see, and it should be seamless.
So we hope.
Let's say the bright side is they have such a huge user base that they really can't afford to put out something that's going to break.
Right, exactly.
Sites. I mean, they could, but it
Exactly.
would be dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an exceptional theme. So I think that they're on the right track. I think they promised it like everybody does. They get excited and they promised it too early. You know, they should have kept
Yeah.
quiet.
Well,
Yeah.
they had to do something because they were losing market share, and they realized it was a monumental task that they would have to put so many people on. They had to be. I like the fact they've been somewhat transparent. I don't like the fact it's been taking so damn long, but you know.
But have they been losing market share?
I think so. Well, certainly, you know, in let's say 2020, 2021, you know, everybody, you remember 2017, 2018, everybody's going Divi, 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 and then it became Elementor, Elementor, Elementor.
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I think they want to be at the forefront again, or at least get some good reviews that don't criticize them about using short codes. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this topic? Has anyone used Divi AI for anything anything specifically?
A couple of things. I used it for a couple of pictures, but it created some really strange pictures.
Yeah,
It didn't work, you know, so I couldn't use them. I tried one time with copy, you know, create copy, but it created such generic copy that I couldn't use it anyway. So it's like, okay, you didn't even give me anything that I could even use. So I just let it go.
Mm.
Well, you know what I found, the latest feature they rolled out for Divi AI, which could be pretty amazing. I haven't personally used it. Is you know, doing CSS code with AI. They have a coding function now,
Right.
where if you tell them, you know, do such and such with this module, it pumps out the CSS code that you could use in, you know, you could put in wherever you need to put it. I don't know if what the reaction to that has been. It looked pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure the code's not perfect, but you know, for those who don't know CSS that well, it could be a real boon. I just haven't had a chance to play around with it.
But then you'd have to be able to know the CSS code to check that the code is correct.
Well,
You can see the effect if it is putting the code, so you'll be able to see, okay, it's doing something or not something.
Right.
yeah, you'd put it in and see
How do you
if it
correct
was
the
what
code
you
if you
wanted
don't
it to
know how to correct it?
Yeah, just delete it then, I guess.
you would basically say, this doesn't work, try again, and keep trying.
Keep
That's
trying.
what it does.
Fail.
But John, you have bought the AI. I haven't paid for the
No.
AI.
I haven't bought it. No, I think you get a certain amount of free trials in
Oh,
Divi.
okay. Oh,
No, I
okay.
haven't bought it yet. No.
I should try the CSS and
Right.
see how good they are. So,
I haven't tried the
Yeah.
CSS, but
okay.
I was just
Yeah.
I didn't
thinking.
even, I didn't know that they had the CSS thing. I thought it's
Yeah.
just images and text. So it's good to know something
No,
new.
it was released fairly recently, last few
Right.
months, I guess.
I
Mark,
think I heard.
have you used it at all? Because I know you do a lot of programming.
No.
No.
Hmm.
Well, give it a try. Let us know.
I've had clients ask about it. I just tell them, you know, try the text. Like if they're, one of them just gets stuck on marketing copy for their e-commerce, I'm just like, well, try it. I mean, what's the worst it can do? You know,
Right.
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 like you're in there and you can't think of something, you know, prompt it and see if it gives you some ideas. That's,
Mhm.
I think it's good for ideas, all that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
not just.
Well,
to
you know,
try.
like all AI, you have to prompt it correctly, and
Mm.
it you know, there are new tech jobs out there for writing prompts for
Mhm.
AI. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
prompt
you're-
generators. Yeah, prompt generators. Yeah.
I've been using Gemini, Google's AI, and
Oh,
that
have you?
is
Mhm.
really, really good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's given me lots of ideas and it's given me exactly what I want and more. You know, it just gives me extra. I'm much more impressed with that than ChatGPT. But I'm
Mhm.
using
Try
the free
Copilot. Try Copilot.
Copilot.
Copilot is really good. That's almost using ChatGPT 4.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
right.
Microsoft one, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft. Microsoft.
There's a there's
Very good. Gives you links. You can go back, check, and yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft.
there's another one out there which seems to be getting lots of, you know, attention. It's called Perplexity. I don't know if anyone's heard of that.
I've heard
No.
about
But
it.
that's a
Haven't heard
bit of
about
a new one that seems to be the latest, what do you say, the latest fad in AI. People want to try it out. I mean, it's amazing the things it can do. You know, like I took the YouTube URL for Elegant Themes today, and I plugged it into another site I just happened to find that's, I think it's called Summarize Video or something like that. I plugged it in, and it gave me a summary and points that they made in the video. As long as it's as long as it's a transcript, it can do it.
Right.
And I've also seen apps where you could give it the video URL, and it will actually embed the video, and then play the video with the transcript, showing you what word what sentence it's on and stuff like that. There's so many crazy tools coming out. It's just,
So this is
great.
Perplexity you're talking about, where you put the video in?
No, I'm talking about something else.
Okay, now where did you got the synopsis of the video from somewhere? Where did you put that?
You mean what the site was?
Yes.
Good question.
Okay.
You know, I used to have it's a plugin you could use on YouTube, and you could just transcribe it, and you could add it on. It was an add-on to YouTube. And so I tried it one time, and my boss needed something really quickly, and I didn't tell him I did this. He said, "How did you do that summary so quickly?" I said, "Magic."
I'm so
You don't give away all your secrets. You
No
can't give
way.
away. No,
Okay,
you can't give away your secrets.
I usually
look
admit
good.
when I use it. I'll admit, I have a confession that the Meetup notice was first written by ChatGPT, or one of those guys, just to come up with the text, and then of course I edited it.
No, I keep the tabs open for ChatGPT and Copilot. The tabs are open. If I need something, okay, check my grammar, check my thing, summarize it again. I do some social media posts. I just look for LinkedIn posts. So it gives me a nice way of writing it, headlining it. Why not? If there's a tool, learn to use it. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not
That's what
ashamed.
I've been using the same thing with Google Docs. Write me this. Write me a paragraph of this. Compare this to that, and it does the work for me. And then I go in there and edit it slightly. But I would never have thought about those two things.
Yeah.
So
people are using it to make a spreadsheet. Like they give a command, make me a spreadsheet, so many columns, put this in this column, and then they take that spreadsheet to Google Sheets.
Yeah.
You take that to Canva to make your
make your graph. Yeah, exactly. Why not? I love these tools. I think they're just incredible. I think it's amazing. As long as you don't have to pay these exorbitant monthly fees to use them, it's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because those fees mount up by the time the end of the year comes along. It's like,
no need.
Okay,
amazing.
so any other topics we wanted to cover? Oh, I know one thing we were when we were the co-organizers were talking about Divi Facebook groups. There's a lot of really good Facebook groups out there, including the Elegant Themes group. I use the Divi Teacher group quite a bit because that's Nelson Miller from PA Creative.
He's really good.
He's really good, and there are a lot of people on there where you post a question or you're having a problem, and many people will jump in to help there, along with the Elegant Themes official one. And
it's called Divi Teacher, is it? I've never.
I think it is called Divi Teacher. The group itself is called Divi Teacher. I should have made a list of all of the official names of the groups. I just didn't get a chance.
But I know Nelson PE Creative, so we can search with that, and
Yeah.
I love his tutorials. Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of good blog posts and stuff. Yeah. Anyone else? Any suggestions? Any topics that you would like to talk about?
So Joe, you're having Eric Dingler next time, no? In Chicago?
Yes. Oh, yes. We're having Eric. Eric Dingler.
Is he from Transit Studios? Is he the
That's
same?
right, from Transit Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, I got him to give us a talk. And he's going to talk about Ask Me Anything. Like how do you run a design agency, or how do you run your business or anything? Ask me anything. So you can ask him questions and he'll answer you. He's an amazing individual who's got this amazing ability to organize things and put it in perspective. It's just, he's so good.
And this is the next Chicago, Divi Chicago meetup?
Chicago,
Jen?
yeah. It's on the second Monday?
It's April 8th or 10th, something like that.
Yeah, the second Monday of the month.
Well, the 8th is a Monday, so it must be the
No, the
8th,
second
then.
Monday.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, it's the second Monday. The
That's
8th.
right. It's the second Monday. Forget the dates. I've got a calendar in front of me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Joan, if you happen to be able to get the link for that particular meetup off of meetup.com, if you want to post it,
Okay. me
folks
go
may
get
be
it.
interested. Eric, was he one of the Divi chat guys?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is he the guy from Britain, or the American guy?
No,
American.
the American
Oh,
guy.
okay. Because there was a British guy on Divi chat
Oh,
too.
I want to get him. That's Mike Devitt. But I haven't
Oh,
seen him
Mike
in a while.
Devitt. Well, Divi Chat, by the way, folks, if you don't know, Divi Chat is a podcast, and also, I guess they did a video of the podcast that had Eric, Tim Streifler, what's her name? I'm
I've
blanking
seen
on.
it. Yeah.
Stephanie Hudson
Yeah, Stephanie Hudson and
and a few others.
other people coming in and out.
They're on a hiatus right now.
Yeah, they're on a hiatus and may not be coming back, I think. But they did a weekly, at least hour-long podcast
Yeah, that was great.
about
That was
things. Divi
interesting.
is very good. And here's the
I'm from
meetup. Thanks,
Chicago.
Joan.
Yeah.
And Divi LA is doing something on Divi 5. Divi 5. They're doing a little show and tell, I think.
Oh, Divi LA.
Divi
Yeah.
LA. I've forgotten his name. Trevisa. What's his name?
Oh, come on. We worked with them on the, right, Joan?
Right.
I can't remember anybody's name anymore. Sorry.
Yes.
Lucky if I remember my own.
I did see it, but I've forgotten now. What's his? He just.
Yeah, but how does he do Divi 5.0? He doesn't know anything about it yet.
I don't know. There's
Well,
something.
somebody does.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on the developer. Is he a developer?
I
Because
don't know.
in the Discord thing,
Julius
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 Lopez.
Yeah.
That's his name.
That's it. Right.
Yeah.
He must be a developer, but he's not allowed to. He's just speculating. I'm pretty
I don't know.
sure.
Maybe just showing.
He may have
what
someone in the group who has the developer beta that's going to do a demo for him.
No, I don't think the Elegant Themes allow that. So
That's
Well,
what the meetup said.
I've seen YouTube videos of people demoing Divi 5
Yeah.
that they must have gotten it through the developer.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know if they
meetup is
got
on
in
the
trouble.
10th, and it says let's try out Divi 5 beta.
maybe he's a thing, one of those.
That'll be
whatever.
interesting to see. So, yeah.
Well,
By,
we'll
by
ask
the
him.
way, by the way, not that it would apply to Eric, Mark, or Joan, talking about meetups, our next meetup in April, we're hoping is going to be a hybrid meetup where we have a location in Manhattan and we'll also do it online. And the subject of the meetup is still TBD, but we will know within a week or so what we're going to be doing there.
But we could attend hybridly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can attend remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll
That's
be,
half the fun of it, I think.
I think it'll be 5 p.m. on, what's our date?
April
Is it
17th. April 17th.
April
Yeah, we have
17th?
to-
But watch out for an announcement in case we have to,
We're trying it out.
reschedule.
Let's see how it works.
We're going to try it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to be meeting in one of the branches of the New York Public Library, which will be interesting. They have some good Wi-Fi there, and hopefully we'll be able to give hybrid a try. It'll be fun.
That'll be
Yeah, and anybody who's in the New York area, no one on here besides the three of us, can come by. But hopefully we'll get some folks to come by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forward
exactly.
to being in person again and more.
Yeah,
Yeah, that we can hybrid, so that of course now we have all of you new guys that we've been Zooming with for the last few years from all over. So it would be nice if we can hybrid it.
Yeah, I think it's been such a great opportunity, even though people get tired of virtual sessions. It's a great opportunity for anyone to join from anywhere. It's been
That's true.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really good.
Eric, do you want to present sometime? Something? I think it just vanished. I'm sorry.
Eric's good.
Eric's good. Eric, you want to do a presentation for our meetup sometime?
I have nothing to present.
You did something on the digital card, I remember.
Oh yeah, that was really
Yeah.
good. That's why I told you he's good.
Yeah.
That
so
one.
I won't mind.
I don't have another anything else that's interesting.
But
Well,
that would
Mark,
be
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
you
I
do.
haven't seen it, so why not? Just yeah.
also, Mark, if you ever want to volunteer, I'm sure you have lots of interesting stuff going on as
Yeah.
well. Just let us know. We'd love to have anyone. We'd love to have you and other members of Divi NYC.
I don't know. Our WordPress Kansas City group has had kind of gone into a funk. We haven't, like everybody's presented themselves to death. And it's just a bunch of amateurs that, like they
Yeah.
they want to come in, but they don't provide anything except, lots of questions.
I live in New Jersey, and we have, I think right now we have 3 active WordPress meetups. And we had one in the region of New Jersey that I lived in, and I was one of the co-organizers. We made it through 2 meetings, and then we decided the one in the northern part of the state is doing well. We'll just join with them from now on. So it's hard. It's hard to keep it going. It's hard to keep our Divi meetup going, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of members. It's just COVID kind of put a crimp in it, of course, and then
Absolutely.
But we had WordCamp. We were, every year we did a really good one and had lots of sessions and like a couple days worth of things. And but national kind of made it difficult. Like WordPress National,
Mm-hmm.
they have a lot of rules. And they just get really crazy about it. So it just kind of takes fun out of it.
Well, since they provide a good piece of the funding, I think they like to have it a certain way. You're absolutely right. I helped organize WordCamp in Montclair, which is the town in northern New Jersey, which has a really active group, in 2019. And yeah, we got a lot of funding that year, but it's like we have to do things the way they wanted to do it. They approve your budgets. They do everything.
Mm.
Yeah, they've just made it difficult.
Yeah, and there hasn't been a New York City WordCamp for a while, since the one that the 3 of us were at, Patty and
Since
Seema.
2019. No, the
That
last.
was 2019 as well.
It was
Yeah,
the 2019 one, yeah.
yeah.
Well, the last national one I went to I thought it was pretty boring. It was in St. Louis, so it was nearby.
Uh-huh.
But it was like all the, they'd have a session and you're thinking, well, that's going to be interesting. They're talking about, I can't even remember. And then it was such a high level, no content kind of presentation from somebody kind of famous or something. But it's like, okay, well, that's a waste of an hour because, they talk about ADA or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be so glossy. It's like, it's like, well, that's my whole problem is there's no specificity on it anyway, about what do you do to make your site compliant. And then you didn't do anything except, it's a big topic and there's all this kind of general stuff. So all the presentations are kind of like that. Kansas City, we tried to do like, actual stuff, like have people present real detailed things instead of just, overviews. But
well, the national one, I assume, has to do many different levels. They probably get people from lots of different, skill sets, I assume.
Yeah, I was just disappointed because it was like even ones that seemed like they should have been more tech focused or, it was supposed to be a more developer level. It still was, which they just gotten too big for their britches or what. But the networking part's good, so.
Yeah. And the swag part, right? If you like swag.
I always like the vendors. Because you can learn more from going and talking with all the vendors sometimes than even, like you're saying, Mark, in the workshops if they're too high level, or if they just not pinpointing the need of what they got to communicate. But I always love talking with the vendors because you learn. So they want to educate you on their product and why it works and how it works, and that's partly networking too.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sharing one link of New York Times. If somebody has a suggestion of what kind of plugin they're using.
Wow.
It's like
Is this for doing right to left, like Hebrew and Arabic?
when you're
Is that what
scrolling
that's-
up, the image
Uh-huh.
then changes.
Oh, very
Really
cool.
interesting.
I'm gonna get that. Oh, yes.
It's a
Oh, that's
JavaScript?
really,
I don't know. If
yeah,
somebody,
it's gotta be JavaScript, I think. That's very cool.
if
I'll have
somebody
to look at
knows
it
any
closely.
plugin and
It's probably I imagine it's JavaScript, but
yeah.
there might be plugins that'll do that. There's so many out there in
Yeah,
the
I think I
Divi
should just
world.
go to the Facebook groups and just put it there and find out if somebody has.
Yeah, that would be a nice effect
Yeah.
for some of your artsy clients,
My
right?
artsy, it would really work, yeah. And there's
Yeah.
one more website, if you see it. I've never seen it here. It's like, it's Lemonade Design.
Mm,
It has accessibility tools. You see on the left?
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Really
yes, it has.
interesting. I've never seen on this other side. So I'm guessing it's, and she's Divi based. I think she's a great
Oh,
designer.
really? Oh, okay.
I've put something like that on sites before. There's a plugin. There's
Yeah.
There's
plugins.
a plugin. Yeah.
I think I have it in my website. What I remember learning about that in particular, it was forgive me for not remembering. Someone came into our Divi New York City and presented on ADA compliance.
Right.
What they said about the pop-ups that have the little, that little tab. While it's a good start, a good place to start, what they said is that it's still requiring someone to have to do something in order to access the information. And what ideally is to get to the site to a point where the person doesn't have to take an action to make it work for them.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's why they said that kind of plugin wasn't so good. But I did have it on my site. I don't think I do anymore. I'm going to look real quick.
But did they say what to do, or they just say this is bad, but they don't have like a good solution?
No, I don't remember getting the solution.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my plugins now to see if I could see what it is.
It should probably be called CYA instead of ADA.
Ah,
I think that's why everybody puts those plugins on. It's just like
Mm.
they don't want to get sued. It's like they're afraid they're going to get sued. They read a story, so they're like,
Didn't Divi have a plugin, Divi Accessibility, at one time? I had it in one of my plugins, but the plugin's no longer there on my demo site. I don't know why I deleted it.
maybe.
I think the guy didn't update it. That's why.
oh, it wasn't Elegant Themes. You mean a third party?
No, a third party. Yeah, third party.
Yeah, I actually remember hearing about that. Yeah, yeah.
Mark, which one do you use for
Yeah, I don't know.
plugin?
I've used a couple different ones, and it was like the client. I said, "Here's 3," and they said, "We like that one," and I put it in and kind of checked the boxes of so it's turning on contrast and figured out where to put it on the page that was less disruptive, and that was kind of because I don't know anything about it, and the little bit of research I did, it's just hard to find any good information about what actually is compliant or what you're trying to even comply with. There's all these different levels, and
Right.
it's
It's
very nebulous.
like the Wild West. They don't. I think a lot of people don't even know.
Well, it's kind of like they'll know it when they see it. That's compliant.
Remember Chris Porter mentioned that he puts the 2 lines there from his lawyer that we're still working on the website becoming accessible in case somebody sues them. So he just puts those 2 lines there. So if
Yeah.
somebody comes to them.
What in the terms of use?
Yeah.
Privacy.
And just accessibility. We're still working towards accessibility, getting our site updated. So
I guess because if you put text into your, like, let's just say your homepage, an accessibility reader could then read that, right?
yeah,
It has that level of, I don't know how it works. I think I should not even try to figure it out.
yeah.
And it's like they're, so somebody's
Oh.
impaired, are they colorblind, are they, you know, you don't know, there's all kinds of different things you're trying to cover.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you need alt tags. If you don't have alt tags, and that's like, none of my clients ever want to do that. Or, you know,
Seema,
well-
the plugin that you sent, the website that you sent, I looked at the repository. It's called One-Click Accessibility.
Oh, okay.
It's WordPress plugin repository.
Oh,
They've
okay.
got, WordPress has got quite a few accessibility plugins that they offer. Third-party plugins, obviously.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I had is not there anymore, so I don't know. I don't remember what I did. But you're right about the alt tags. I mean, going forward, anything that I create new for the last several years, the file name and the alt description is always done when I'm uploading an image.
Mm.
But I've had this website for like 15 or more years. It's gone through several iterations and hundreds of blog posts, and to go back and try to figure out how to make that happen for hundreds and hundreds of images,
It's difficult.
file names and alt tags is, I could,
Well,
Did you say-
someone, I'm sorry, I was gonna say someone working on ADA might say, Patty, it's cheaper spending the time doing that than getting sued for not doing it. But I think that all has quieted down a bit. Those law firms that were, there was a word for them, I can't remember, but the law firms just contacting everybody they could, trying to, scare them into paying some money.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think some of them got shut
scare
down.
tactics.
Yeah, scare tactics.
Yeah, that's a
exactly.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one you mentioned. That Doge
Yeah,
is
I've
really
sent you
high
the wrong link from inside my demo site. Sorry.
up. Yeah, I just looked into one of the last site I remember doing that wanted it, and that was the one that
Yeah.
called. It had a wheelchair, like maybe that was an icon you could pick. So instead of the person, like it
Mhm.
shows a wheelchair.
Right.
Mm.
That's it. Yeah. Not bad at all.
But it worked. I mean, the client was happy, so
That's what matters. Yeah.
that's not like it's like
Yeah.
we're talking.
That's the important part. Yep. Well, guys, it's 7:00. I think we're at our closing hour. This is a great discussion. Thanks everybody for coming by, especially Joan, Eric, and Mark. Of course, Seema and Patty too.
And you too.
And you too.
But yeah, but
And you too.
again, this was great. So look out for our next announcement, and we hope to see you next time around.
Okay, thank you.
you.
Okay, thanks,
Thanks.
Mark, thanks,
Thank you.
Eric. Good to see you guys.
Bye,
Bye.
Joe.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Joan.